These family court cases are an absolute gem of content across the internet because not only do we get to see the real life consequences or implications of failed relationships, but also the financial burden that it can place within your life if you choose the incorrect one. The entitlement as well as the privilege is at an all-time high to the extent of moving in your new boyfriend into the marital home while still collecting spousal support. Icky shit. I don't know how any of these women feel good about doing it, but the judge lets them know how he feels about them doing it. With that being said, there's a two-part special. We got two cases here for you today, so let's get active. Without further ado, this lovely young woman down at the bottom is the ex-wife. This man on the top right is the lawyer of the ex-husband. The ex-husband is there, but he's off screen somewhere. Also, as we go through this content, be sure to watch her facial expressions as the lawyer's talking, as the judge is talking. Oh, it's pure comedy. All right, let's go.
This is set for hearing today. Mr. Blumberg, you filed a motion. Your client is asking for relief from an ex parte order that was signed by the court, requiring him to pay certain household expenses and so forth at the beginning of the case. Anything you wanted to state by way of oral argument in support of your motion today?
Well, I would just again reiterate to the court what my motion and supporting brief suggests, that the court signed an order based on information that was not accurate. I don't know if there were intentional misrepresentations made, but the net effect of those is that you signed an ex parte order requiring my client to pay certain obligations, when the reality is that when the motion that was filed, it was asserted that she was not working and that she failed to indicate to the court that she had her boyfriend living there, a roommate, who was contributing financially to the obligations. Those are certainly material facts that were either omitted carelessly or intentionally. The bottom line is that I think that had the facts been properly represented to you, you would not have signed such an order. So we're asking the court at this point to rescind that order. My client has been contributing financially. And he's prepared to continue to do so. But certainly, based on the facts that you were presented, I think that ex parte order was inappropriate.
Mr. Blumberg, are there any temporary orders regarding child support in place? Just looking through the file, you might know off the top.
No, there is not.
Okay. And how much is your client contributing monthly at this point?
Okay, he's paying between $150 and $200 a month.
That's on top of the mortgage.
Okay. All right, Ms. Beeland, what's your side of this?
Long story short, the judge created a motion for the ex-husband to pay spousal support or ex-wife support and part of the mortgage. She's currently living in the house, and unbeknownst to the court at that time, she was having her new boyfriend blow her back out in the marital home.
Oh, God.
And she previously stated that she did not have a job, but there's suspicion that she now does. So the lawyer is motioning to get it dismissed. Let's listen to the ex-wife speak.
The reason why we decided for Chauncey to pay $600 worth of mortgage, because it is on his name too, along with mine. And during that time that Sorry, I'm having a hard time.
Get your story straight.
This.
You little liar.
The reason why we put this, because I was working at a restaurant, barely making a minimum wage, trying to have fully intent of getting my job that is now. I work full time at Kohl's.
Okay, you're employed now.
Just so he could just help pay the mortgage. That's all I was asking.
Y'all need to sell the house.
And my boyfriend, he is no longer in the home, but during that time, he was helping pay all the smaller bills, helping me out with that type of stuff. And up until he recently left, he was helping me pay all my small bills, and I was paying my mortgage and trying to keep on boat on that. And I have caught up completely on my mortgage so far. It's been hard, but I've been dealing. So I was just asking for help with that. That's all.
All right. Anything in response to that, Mr. Blumberg?
I think it's absolutely insane that the man is paying off a mortgage when he's currently not living in the house. What type of sense does that make? Just sell the house. It's the marital home. Y'all are not married anymore. Sell it so both y'all can move on. But instead, she now squats within that house, begging the ex-husband to help her pay it. You're in the house. Pay it your damn self. You already won the house in a divorce, but you can't pay it? Diabolical. But don't worry, it gets better. We're going to hear more about her relationship.
Judge, I don't know that we need to go into the facts why the boyfriend is no longer there. My understanding is he's been arrested and he probably has a no contact provision. But I don't guess that that's really relevant at this point. My client is willing to continue to pay some money to assist. And certainly the kids are with him half the time. So I just, look at. Yeah, I'm always reluctant when I see these ex parte orders, when facts are presented to the court, and you have no way of knowing whether they're accurate or truthful or not. And I understand it's always best to err on the side of caution, but I genuinely believe that had the facts been properly presented, I don't think you would have signed this order. Mm-hmm. He'll continue to pay those expenses that he's been paying.
Okay. And Mr. Blumberg, your client is on the mortgage as well, his name?
Yeah. Yes, it is.
All right. So presumably he's got just as much an interest in keeping that mortgage current as Mrs. Phelan does.
Yeah, he does. But he has the expense of another place. Again, when these parties separated, my understanding was that they had an understanding as to how the expenses were going to be shared. That wasn't reflected in any written document, unfortunately. But yes, you're right. He has a monetary interest in that property.
Right.
Spousal support got to keep the home and 50-50 parenting time. And he's paying on the mortgage. Sound like this brother got shafted. I understand financial duties to your children, but sell that damn asset so you don't have to give her a damn nickel. Paying for room and board where your ex-wife is getting porked at is just... Let's finish up.
Give me just 1 second. I just want to... All right. Is there an amount that we can put on the record here today that your client is willing to contribute per month?
Yeah, my client said he can pay $200 a month.
All right. Okay. So I think that's fair during the pendency here, given the circumstances. So Mr. Blumberg, the court is going to modify that order and have it reflect that your client is going to pay $200 per month towards the household expenses. So if you can draft an order that will reflect that and submit that to the court, and we'll go forward from there. Ms. Phelan, do you have any questions about that?
No, I appreciate any of the help I can get. So I just appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay. Mr. Blumberg, anything further on this file today?
No, Judge. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. All parties are free to disconnect at this time.
So with this decision, a husband has won. I think it's clear to the judge that the boyfriend absolutely lived there and was contributing. But the next clip is even crazier because the woman in this case that's asking for more money remarried.
This is set for a motion today. Mr. Van Til, you filed a motion to cease spousal support, and your motion's based on the fact that Ms. Van Til remarried at the end of 2024. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ms. Van Til, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Are you contesting the discontinuation of the spousal support?
To an extent, I feel that I was pretty generous back in 2021 when I let him off on over $12,000 in arrearages at the time. I'm willing to drop down to $500 a month for, let's say, another 3 years.
She's married.
Okay. Mr. Van Til, what's your position on that?
Look at him, he's shaking.
No, I disagree.
Okay. All right. Well,
how greedy and entitled do you have to be to ask your ex-spouse to pay for you while you already have a new spouse? While having the gall to posture that she's being generous by only wanting $500 a month for 3 more years. Honestly, to me, she should even be happy and grateful that she found a new husband, because she looks to me like Peter Griffin from Family Guy underwent a sex change. What? But although the guy is nervous and shaking, he gets a break.
Here's the thing. I reviewed the original judgment of divorce, and it does allow for the court to modify spousal support based on a change in circumstances. Ms. Van Til, and frankly, I'm surprised it doesn't contain the language that if you remarry. Typically, once a party remarries, that's a change in circumstances that warrants the cessation of payment of spousal support. And the whole idea of spousal support is that you don't have the assistance of your marital partner anymore to support you. And when you get remarried, that's no longer the case. So it really, to me, the only fact here that would be a potential issue is whether or not you were actually married or remarried, I should say. And it sounds like that's not a fact that's in dispute. So for that reason, the court finds that the spousal support should cease. And so, Mr. Van Til, you need to file something with the court that indicates that the court is granting your motion. You can use a form like you used to file your motion in this case, okay?
Okay.
But that's an important step for you to follow up on, because until I sign that order, that's what actually stops your obligation for spousal support. So it's important that you submit that as soon as possible to the clerk's office here in Gaylord.
Okay, so it's the form just like the one I sent for this hearing.
Yeah, you can find the form in the same place. It's going to be just a blank order. And you're going to fill in there that the court is granting your motion and spousal support will stop as of February 3rd, okay?
Okay.
Ms. Van Til, did you have any questions about that?
No.
Okay. All right. Thank you. That's all for this hearing today. Both parties are free to disconnect at this time.
Thank you.
Remember, my G's, make sure that you have an ironclad prenup if marriage is on the table for you, because the person that you married is not the person that you divorce. You must understand this. So do everything in your power to protect yourself. Even business owners never start business together without signing paperwork, without a contract, without a division of responsibilities. So why are so many men today signing up for something with no contract involved, with no division of assets? It makes no sense. But if you prepare yourself ahead of time, if it is to end, then you have an appropriate exit strategy, which doesn't leave you high and dry, especially when considering what men are up against in family court. That's all that I got for this video here today. Guys, make sure that you drop me a line down below. What do you think about these two different cases? And last but not least, join my men's self-development community. Education, like we go over within the scope of this video, is things that we talk about up there, but especially join if you have a focus on financial education going into the future. If you have a focus on increasing your revenue or building wealth, this is the Brotherhood for you. Tap in, beam up, and I will see you soon. Until next time, YouTube. Peace.
She belongs to the street.
Girl, don't hold my hand. You a mattress actress on the OnlyFans. Get your money, girl, but damn, how is that your only plan? What you gonna do when you get too old to strip and dance? Get up out your echo chamber screaming period and yes. You a low down dirty woman if you try to get knocked up.